Pause for a moment, because not every whisper reaches the heart at the right time. Some words travel through silence before they ever find the ears they were meant for. If these words have reached you today, allow yourself to listen with an open spirit. There is something unfolding beyond what your eyes can presently see. You have wondered whether your presence has truly mattered. There have been evenings when you questioned if anyone genuinely understood the quiet battles you carried without complaint. You smiled while hiding burdens. You encouraged others while your own heart searched for reassurance. Yet even in those unseen moments, heaven never looked away. Nothing that has shaped your journey has been forgotten. Every tear offered without applause. Every act of kindness given without recognition. Every prayer whispered when no one else believed. Every moment you chose hope instead of bitterness. All of it has been witnessed. There is a story quietly unfolding around you that you cannot fully see yet. Someone has reached a place they never imagined they would stand. They once believed they could continue their life exactly as it was. They convinced themselves that distance would silence what they felt. They buried emotions beneath routines, distractions, responsibilities, and pride. But the heart has a language that cannot remain hidden forever. What they tried to ignore has only grown stronger. This realization did not arrive through a single dramatic event. It arrived through ordinary moments that suddenly carried extraordinary meaning. A familiar song. An unexpected memory. A quiet evening that felt strangely incomplete. A smile from another person that somehow reminded them of what they had lost. The realization came gently, yet it carried tremendous weight. For the first time, they stopped running from their own heart. Do not misunderstand these words. This message is not asking you to place your future in another person's hands. Your value has never depended on someone else's recognition. Your purpose has never waited for human approval. Yet it is remarkable how truth often reaches people only after every illusion has faded away. Sometimes hearts awaken only after silence has become unbearable. Sometimes appreciation is born only after absence has spoken louder than words. Sometimes love is understood only when pretending becomes impossible. This is one of those moments. While you have continued walking your path, unseen changes have been taking place beyond your awareness. Conversations have shifted. Thoughts have changed direction. Old assumptions have quietly fallen apart. The person who once believed they had endless time now feels something very different. Time suddenly feels precious. Moments suddenly feel meaningful. Opportunities once ignored now appear irreplaceable. What changed? Not your worth. Your worth has always remained exactly the same. The change happened inside them. Perspective has a remarkable way of transforming what pride once refused to acknowledge. There are seasons when heaven allows silence because hearts must discover truth without being forced toward it. Growth that is genuine cannot be rushed. Understanding that lasts cannot be manufactured. Some lessons must bloom naturally. Perhaps you have asked why certain doors remained closed. Perhaps you wondered why certain answers delayed their arrival. Perhaps you questioned whether your prayers disappeared into empty space. No. Every prayer has been heard. Every waiting season has carried purpose. Even when heaven appeared quiet, it was never absent. What feels delayed to you has often been preparation beyond your vision. Imagine a sunrise. Long before the first ray touches the horizon, light already exists. The world simply cannot see it yet. In much the same way, certain answers begin long before they become visible. That hidden beginning is where many miracles quietly grow. Right now, unseen pieces are moving. Hearts are softening. Perspective is changing. Fear is losing its grip. What once seemed impossible no longer feels unreachable. Still, this story is not complete. There is another layer that has not yet been revealed. Because someone has realized something far deeper than simple affection. And when that final realization surfaces, everything changes. There are moments when heaven allows silence to remain just a little longer, not because hope has faded, but because a heart is being transformed where no human eye can witness it. What seems still is often the beginning of the greatest movement. What appears delayed is sometimes being carefully prepared so that when the answer arrives, it carries peace instead of confusion. The one whose heart has been wrestling with unspoken emotions has reached a place they never believed they would stand. They have searched for distractions, filled their days with responsibilities, and convinced themselves that moving forward would erase what remained unfinished. Yet every attempt to replace what was real only revealed how empty imitation can feel. Something unexpected has interrupted their ordinary routine. A quiet memory appeared without warning. It was not loud. It was not dramatic. It simply refused to leave. In the middle of an ordinary day, your kindness returned to their thoughts. They remembered the patience you showed when no one else noticed. They remembered conversations that once seemed small but now carried a meaning they had overlooked. Even your silence has begun speaking to them more clearly than many voices around them. This is how truth often returns. Not with noise, but with undeniable clarity. My beloved child, remember this carefully. Your value has never depended on whether another person recognizes it. You were created with purpose long before anyone formed an opinion about you. The realization happening within another heart does not create your worth, it simply uncovers what was already there. Do not mistake waiting for being forgotten. The two are not the same. Many people believe that if something is taking time, it must be moving away. Yet there are seasons when what appears distant is actually drawing closer, one quiet step at a time. Heaven understands timing in ways that human hearts rarely do. Some doors open immediately. Others wait until wisdom has caught up with desire. There is beauty in that patience. Because an answer received too early may not be appreciated. But an answer received after growth becomes a gift that is protected. The person whose thoughts have begun returning to you is no longer asking the same questions they once asked. Instead of wondering how to move on, they are beginning to wonder why they ever tried. Instead of convincing themselves that your absence made no difference, they are discovering how deeply your presence once shaped their life. This realization has humbled them. Not because they were forced to change, but because truth has quietly reached their heart. Even now they are noticing reminders in places they never expected. A familiar sunrise. A peaceful evening sky. A song that suddenly carries different meaning. The laughter of strangers reminding them of conversations they once shared. None of these moments were planned. Yet each one gently points them toward a truth they can no longer ignore. Still, heaven asks you for something important. Do not allow impatience to replace your peace. Continue becoming the person you were created to be. Continue choosing kindness over resentment. Continue walking forward even when every answer has not yet arrived. Growth does not stop while you wait. Often, your greatest transformation happens during the very season you once wished would end. There is strength forming inside you that circumstances cannot steal. There is wisdom growing within you that disappointment cannot erase. There is confidence quietly replacing the fear that once followed every uncertain step. This transformation matters more than you realize. Because when two paths eventually meet, both travelers must be prepared for the journey ahead. One prepared heart cannot carry two unprepared lives. So while someone else's understanding is awakening, your own spirit is being strengthened. Neither process is accidental. Neither journey is forgotten. The story is moving, even when it appears still. Yet there is one detail that has not been revealed. The realization within their heart is about to become impossible to hide. A choice is approaching. A conversation is drawing near. And what begins in that moment will reveal whether courage is finally stronger than fear. But that moment has not arrived just yet. The quiet season is beginning to change, my beloved child, though perhaps not in the way anyone expected. There are moments when heaven allows two separate journeys to unfold without interruption because each heart must learn lessons that cannot be taught by another person. Growth that lasts is often born in solitude before it is shared in companionship. The one whose thoughts have continually returned to you has reached a place where silence no longer feels comfortable. What they once believed was strength now feels like distance. What they once called independence now feels incomplete. They have begun asking questions they avoided for a long time. What if I misunderstood what truly mattered? What if I let fear make decisions that love should have made? Those questions have remained with them long after the day has ended. Each morning they wake with determination to focus on everything else, yet by evening they find themselves remembering moments they thought had disappeared forever. Memories have a remarkable way of returning when the heart is finally ready to understand them. But listen carefully. This story is not simply about another person's realization. It is also about your own. For while they have been discovering how deeply your presence affected their life, you have been learning something equally important, that your peace cannot depend upon another person's actions. That lesson has quietly become one of the greatest gifts heaven has placed within your journey. There was a time when uncertainty would have shaken your confidence. There was a season when unanswered questions would have stolen your rest. Yet look how far you have come. Even without realizing it, your spirit has become steadier. Your faith has become deeper. Your compassion has grown stronger because of everything you have endured. Nothing has been wasted. Even the chapters you wished had never happened have been shaping a wisdom that could not have been gained any other way. Sometimes the greatest miracles are not the ones that change your circumstances first. Sometimes the greatest miracle is the person you become while waiting. That transformation cannot be measured by the calendar. It can only be seen through the quiet confidence that now lives within your heart. Meanwhile, another change is unfolding beyond your sight. Someone close to the person who has been thinking about you has noticed something different. They have seen the distant look in their eyes. They have noticed conversations stopping halfway because the mind has wandered elsewhere. They have heard your name spoken with a gentleness that was never there before. Without realizing it, they have begun asking questions. Not questions filled with judgment. Questions filled with curiosity. What changed? Why do you seem different lately? The answers have not come easily. How do you explain a realization that happened little by little? How do you describe the moment when your heart quietly admits what your pride spent so long denying? Words have felt too small. Yet silence has become even more difficult. That inner struggle is preparing the way for honesty. And honesty has a way of opening doors that fear could never unlock. Still, heaven gently reminds you not to build expectations upon imagined timelines. Trust is stronger when it rests on peace rather than urgency. Continue living fully. Continue caring for the life placed before you today. Continue becoming the person you are meant to be regardless of what tomorrow brings. Your purpose is larger than one conversation. Your calling is greater than one chapter. And because of that, nothing truly meant for your journey will arrive too late. There is another reason this season has taken longer than you expected. The hearts involved are not merely being brought closer to each other. They are being brought closer to truth. Truth has a beautiful way of removing illusions without destroying hope. It replaces assumptions with understanding. It replaces fear with courage. It replaces uncertainty with quiet conviction. That process cannot be rushed. Even now, a decision is beginning to take shape inside the heart that has finally recognized your value. It is no longer a passing emotion. It is becoming a choice. A choice to stop pretending. A choice to stop running. A choice to speak what has remained hidden. Yet before that choice is revealed, one final obstacle must be faced. It is not an obstacle created by another person. It is the voice of doubt that still whispers, "What if it's too late?" That single question has become the final wall standing before the next chapter. And the answer to that question is closer than either of you can imagine.